And do you think with Theratogs we'll be able to prevent bones deformity?
If you can manage to maintain the body alignment in a way that's supposed to be true for the child that age. So a baby who is 7 months old should sit up very straight. Mm-hmm. If your baby can be sat up very straight, he's going to learn how to use his muscles because they work that way. They work based on alignment. So if the baby's aligned and builds control of his trunk, he won't need his limbs to balance. If the baby doesn't need his limbs to balance, they won't get tight. Mm-hmm. If the limbs get tight because they're balancing all day, the bones get deformed. The muscles get deformed. If we can build in postural control, balance within the trunk and neck so the child is actually competent in balance, he shouldn't need his limbs to balance. Babies don't. Typical babies don't do that. They balance with their trunk and they use their limbs because they have a trunk to work off of. That's the point of Theratogs for early intervention.
For like a 5-year-old kids, we can think about the same building that you just mentioned about the limbs, and if you already have some contractures on the muscles or the feet, on the difficult feet and stuff, do you think the Theratogs will work like you just told us about the work on the baby?
Yes, I think that's a good question. The Theratogs are going to have a bigger job to do. Mm-hmm. Everything that we do all day, everything everybody does all day, gets mapped in the brain. So we lay down, neuroplasticity means your brain is going to adapt to what you're doing because it says, I do this a lot, so let's make a track. Let's make that happen in my track so I don't have to work so hard at doing it anymore. I've got a brain track. So there's a white matter in the brain. So the baby by 5 years of age who has been doing things with confusion, without trunk control, incompetently, but really trying to stay upright because everybody does, then that child has to can't unlearn what he knows, has to learn all new. Mm-hmm. So everything that the child learns new does get mapped, but eventually it has to win over everything he already knew, which was kind of wrong. Didn't work that well. So the older you start, the tougher it is. Mm-hmm. But the point is that everybody's going to map their brain anyway.
Yeah.
That you should learn something new that works better because you're learning something better. But you have to practice a lot to gain new skills.